Doing my rounds this morning to check in on all of my girls, and look what we have here. Isis has finally laid her eggs. Hey everyone, as you saw from the intro, I got excited this morning. We have babies. This is the first clutch for 2023 that I'm excited to show you guys. So I'm going to get everything set up. I did the initial intro earlier this morning at around 10 a.m. When I first noticed that she was laying, because I had checked the night before when I went to bed and there was nothing. It's now later on in the evening. I've given her most of the day to finish laying, and I'll make sure that she doesn't have any more eggs in her and get her set up into a new bin, and we will get the eggs all set up to go into the incubator. So this pairing was a lesser het pied to a lesser pastel pinstripe het pied. So as you can see here, she's definitely not a small girl. I'm going to switch over to the other camera so you guys can see. And as you can see, we do have a couple of slugs, but I am going to pull her off. She does seem a little bit on the hissy side. Come on, Mama. But no visible sign of any other eggs in her. Definitely everything right there is what we have. So I'm putting her into a tub I already have set aside. She will get washed off a little bit later, but we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 that are viable, that it looks like, and 2 slugs. But I will go through and candle everything to make sure as well. So this is a very nice clutch on that side of things. So we will get these eggs out of here. And I use a vermiculite mixture. Mixed with just equal parts of water. I might actually need 2 tubs for all of this. So there's some of the vermiculite. You get the water. Now I don't do a exact measurement when it comes to the water vermiculite mixture. I just add enough to where it clumps and there's visually no water, actual physical water in the mixture itself when everything is done. This is just a little bit too much, so we'll add just a tiny bit. To the mix. And that drips just a tiny bit, so I'll add just a little bit more. Again, with this being 11 eggs, I will probably do 2 bins anyways, so I will go through and just kind of transport some of this around. It's icky, icky, icky. And the biggest thing is you don't want just standing water, because you want to make sure that the humidity is up. Some people use perlite. I've used the vermiculite, I've used the perlite. This is a coarse vermiculite. Finding it has been a little bit more on the difficult side over the course of the last couple of months. So we'll set that there. And I'm just grabbing another bin right now. As I only thought that I had about 6 earlier this morning, so she definitely was not finished laying her eggs at 10 o'clock this morning. I probably caught her right in the middle of the act, because this morning that particular slug was not there in the initial video that you guys saw this morning for this morning's reveal for the beginning of the video. That wasn't there, so I had only counted visually 6 at the time, so that's why I had only pulled out 1 tub. But clearly I will end up needing 2. Now some of you are probably going to ask, where do I get the vermiculite from? I just order it from Reptile Basics. It's easier that way for me in the end, to just get it from there for the vermiculite. The perlite I have gotten right at like Home Depot or Lowe's. You can get it. So that's more the exact consistency that you want. Just moist enough to clump up, but not be super, super saturated. But that's also why I use these grates to make sure that the eggs don't actually sit in the vermiculite itself, that the vermiculite is just there to provide the moisture. I need just a tiny bit more. That's not quite enough. Tiny bit more water. Mix everything up. And there we go. Just washing my hand off real quick. So again, I know for a fact, like this is a slug, this is a slug, so those will get discarded. But this separate one right here, I am going to candle that one. Using my phone. Got to do this in the dark a little bit. It's hard to do it on the video. But that I can actually see. The embryo is right there. So I'll mark that with an X. And I'll do this process slowly, peeling each of these out. They've only been connected for a couple of hours, so they should be very easy overall to peel apart. The trick is to do it very, very slowly. There we go there. Very slowly. There we go there. I'm guessing this is probably going to be right. And I want to show you guys so you can see. I'm going to turn off the main light for a minute here. So it's going to be a little on the dark side. But this way you can kind of see that little spot right there. That's what we're looking for when it comes to the embryo. That little spot right there. So that's the top. That's what I am marking down with an X. Just to make sure I know the direction as far as that goes. That was right there. And that's what I'm looking for each of these, is that embryo. But again, like I was saying, the pairing for this one is with my boy Beowulf, which is a lesser haploid, and to Isis, my girl, who is a lesser pinstripe pastel haploid. So far, so good. Let's see if I can't get this one off from the top. Overall, these eggs look really, really healthy. Just being very, very, very careful not to open or otherwise rip a hole into any of the eggs. That's good there. Now, some people won't put the embryo always on the top. They'll just mark where it is and leave it based on where it was with the egg itself. I like to make sure that it's on the top. Just my preference when it comes to the breeding and the incubation. Everything is set up with my incubator, which I built earlier in the fall. Well, I built a second one because I got a better cooler that I found on the marketplace. So far these are all looking good. Start over here. Separate these. I'll probably actually leave these three right connected. check them all out to make sure that they're all good. All three are good. Doing it this way, that'll make sure that none of them actually roll or tip or anything like that. Not that they should while they're in the incubator. Things won't get moved around, but that just kind of helps on that side of things. And then I think I'll do the same thing with these three. So we'll kind of make this first bin and do it this way. Put those three there, and then put that one there. I gotta double check these to make sure that they are good first. Let me move off to the side where it's nice and dark. And the other thing that I'm checking for is blood vessels or veins, not just the embryo itself. Because you'll see with slugs and everything like that, you won't see the blood vessels at all. Like, these are just completely undeveloped, unfertilized. So, and then to finish everything off, first I use press and seal, but let me get rid of this for a minute. Now I have a separate enclosure or bin that I already had set up to put Isis into. And she'll get washed off. She'll get a bath to get rid of the egg scent off from her. She'll get a nice rinse. And then I'll wait a few days and offer her something for food. Let me turn the light on this off. Just set that off to the side for right now. But to finish this off, I just use some press and seal. Oh, not big enough. So that'll get tossed off to the side. So there's the press and seal. And then put the lid on there. There's no holes or anything like that in the things themselves, as there really doesn't need to be. When it comes closer to the time that the eggs will actually hatch, they will, I'll pull a corner up on it to make sure there is some air exchange. But I will go through and basically replace this press and seal a few different times during the incubation cycle, just to make sure that the condensation, the moisture, doesn't leak down on to the eggs. One of the other things that I do for my incubator is all of the shelves are very slightly tipped backwards. So they lean towards the back just a tiny bit. That helps any moisture that builds up on the press and seal to move towards the back and then drip down the side instead of dripping on the eggs themselves. I find that that helps to make sure that there is no accidental moisture, extra moisture buildup that's on the eggs itself. They need access to the humidity. They don't need the physical water on them, because that can actually cause mold growth and everything else. And then the last thing that I do, I used my label maker to print these out. It just has the year, the month, and then the clutch number, this being the very first clutch of the year. I always print two just in case because I never know if I'm going to need a second one or not, like I did for this. So, but there we go there. And then these will go into the incubator. And there we go. So there you guys have it. Excuse the mess. Used it to dry off my hands. I washed Isis up, so I got all of the egg smell off from her. Gave her a little bit of a washing of a bath, and put her into a clean bin. But I'll leave her alone for a couple of days, and then I'll start her right off with offering a live large mouse and go from there as far as getting her back on the feed as quickly as possible. I have found that using live mice to reestablish the feeding process quickly is the best to get them back on food. But stay tuned. I have several more clutches that are due to be coming through soon. I have my pewter girl that was paired with a pastel banana boy, and I have a couple of GHI mixes that are coming through. So lots of different things to expect for this coming season. So I look forward to seeing you next time.